Hi there, I'm Nathan Thornberry with Residential Warranty Services, home of the Simple Warranty, the only warranty that covers underground sewer lines, and of course, the next structural policy, the only structural policy available for existing homes, helps you sell them. I got a question from an agent yesterday, and I meant to post this yesterday, so sorry about that. But the question was, I have a buyer, and we had an inspection. We responded to the inspection to the seller. And the response from the seller was that the issues were not real. Okay, let me make sure I'm clear on this issue. The inspector found a problem. Let's say it was a water heater problem. It was not installed correctly. The pressure relief valve extension wasn't within 6 inches of the floor, and maybe there was some evidence of issues at the burner. The response from the seller was, sorry, those are not real issues. We simply don't believe your inspector. We're not fixing them. That was the response. Now, this isn't common, but the question from the buyer through the buyer's agent to me was, is there any recourse against a seller when you have a contract in place, you have an inspection contingency, and the seller simply refuses to fix something? So let's answer that in a few different ways. Number one, it's a contingency. It means that you can walk from the contract if you have a legitimate issue that's a major defect or a defect as defined by the purchase contract. If the seller refuses to fix one of those issues, you can walk away without penalty. In other words, you would be returned your escrow money. Now, this seller has added another dynamic, because usually the determination you make when you find a high radon level and a few $1,000s worth of issues is, here's what we're going to ask the seller to fix. We're being very reasonable. Hopefully they're reasonable too. They come back, we negotiate it out, we figure out, okay, the seller's going to pay for this, they're going to have this fixed before closing. Maybe there's going to be an allowance at closing, whatever it might be. And we move forward. And each side makes a calculation. Somewhat of we call it a renegotiation, like that's a bad thing. It is somewhat of a renegotiation, and that's okay. It's a calculation of, okay, I really want this house. This is not that big of a deal to me. I'm moving forward. Seller says on their side, well, it's a few $100. I got a buyer here. I'm going to go to closing. That's the usual circumstance, and we deal with that every day. Hopefully, as an agent, you understand how that process works. And if you don't, email me, nathan@nathan.tv. But this seller added another dynamic that is just surprising. You have a buyer saying there is an issue, and the seller isn't saying, hey, that's an issue, but I'm not willing to fix it. Buy the house or don't. They're saying that issue isn't real. I'm telling you this house does not have that issue. So the question that was asked is, is there recourse against the seller? I would argue that there very well could be, and I think that the seller has been incredibly poorly advised by their agent in their response. Look at the liability that they put on themselves. They say, not only as a seller, I'm not going to disclose now a known issue, I'm going to be in flat out denial of it, even though a property inspection professional has told us exactly what the issue is and put it in picture form in the report. So you could go a step further, just to add to this for this particular agent. You could ask the seller to put it in writing or get it from a contractor. That'd be the safest thing. If there really is doubt and, gosh, nobody's perfect, so maybe it really isn't an issue. Fine. Have a qualified contractor put that in writing so that when my buyer moves in and they have the problem, they can call that contractor rather than calling you, listing agent. That's all I have for now. See you next time.